All right, we are live.
All
All
right.
right, Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Riders Reminiscing Rides Christmas Eve event. Um, Good to see everybody here supporting us. I got XAN Biker in here with me.
Howdy,
Thought we could
howdy.
start the night off with a little bit of introduction. Most everybody probably knows both of us because they follow both of us. But I
Yeah.
met XAN at Cycle Showcase St. Louis last year. We spent some time together. We had a lot of fun. So I thought I'd have him on as my first guest, being he's one of the first people I really talked to from YouTube when I was starting my channel out. So I thought I'd bring
Yeah.
him on.
Yeah, you've got more subscribers now than I do.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I think it was just a matter. I got a lot of them from Donnie Smith's show and a lot of the different shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I just have more. I think I had more content that people were looking at because of the different
Yeah.
builds and everything.
Yeah. I was going to stream this to my channel too, but I don't see the little boxes up there to.
I don't know how to do it. I was gonna do that, but I don't have. I don't know where that's at.
I don't know either.
Let me see if I can find
Because
that.
I've been able to do it before.
Yep, I'm looking right now. Um, is Motobomb in the side chat?
Yeah.
Let me go. I'm gonna go to settings here. Um, I bet you we have to do it before we start it. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Most people,
Okay.
the ones that follow you,
Oh wait,
follow
here I
me.
found it. I found it. Let's see if.
Okay. Yeah.
You got it. I have to. I can't allow you to do it because I have the free. I don't pay for the. I don't pay for
Oh,
it, so it doesn't let you do it when I'm a free one.
okay.
But I refuse to pay for streaming software.
No problem.
I
No.
kind of
Like I
like
said,
that.
I'm not worried about it.
No, but definitely. So we got what 7 people in there. Everybody's pretty much probably already subscribed to you. Rob Benjamin Shadow. He did. I like that. Did you go into his um I forgot into his story read that he did?
Who's that?
Um he did a story read Shadow, Rob Benjamin.
Oh
But
yeah.
right, yeah. I thought that was pretty neat the way he did that and had his grandkids in there. That's
Yeah.
kind of neat the way he did that.
Yeah, I think he did that last year also.
Yeah, I remember he did too. I think he's doing a special tomorrow too. I was going to probably check into that. He did read some good stories. So
Yeah.
uh, I seen Rod B come over from Sick Bastards show.
Yeah.
I appreciate the way I like the community, the way they share everybody comes in and supports everybody. So I knew you were probably bacheloring it too on Christmas. That's kind of why I reached out to you too because I remember last year you were by yourself during Christmas.
Yeah. Well, what is my living situation? She goes up to her parents from because our kids who are 16 live with her parents, and she goes up to see them the whole time at Christmas break. And I usually stay home with the dogs, and then I'll take uh, come New Year's. When she gets ready to come back, I'll go up the day before, take a train up to Mattoon, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I'll drive her back.
Nice.
But yeah, somebody's got to be here with the dogs.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way that it is for us too. And like, uh, yeah, yep. Hey, you want to keep these guys busy for a second? I'm gonna move areas and then I'll be right back with you.
Okay, all right. Oh, well, yeah, it's XAN on Salty Badgers channel. So, uh, yeah, I missed Shadow when he was doing that live, but I did see it. Uh, who else we all got in here? We got Rod B, Lolly, uh, Sick Bastard. Boy, I have a hard time doing that, saying that, because that's why I always call him Sick B. Desert Outlaw, Frogzilla. Let's see, who else we got in here? Evil Rick, of course. And yeah, that's about it. And then Motorbomb Virginia was in here earlier. I don't think he's in here now. But Thomas Bailey, hello. I didn't see you there. Well, Indian Mikey, how you doing? Hadn't seen you in a while, my friend. What is going on here? I have no idea what's going on. But no, I've been missing seeing you, Mikey. Oh, Evil Rick will be back. I mean, Salty Badger will be back here in a minute.
I'm in podcast mode for a second because I got the grandbaby in my lap. So,
okay, we got his voice. So,
yep. So, like I was telling XAM before the show, right at the end of my live at 5, my daughter's dog, when they were carrying stuff in, took off out the door, and they've been looking for her since.
Oh.
So, I've got the baby right now. She woke up, so. But we're good to go. So,
yeah.
I kind of thought we'd talk about the things from the road, and things like that, and keep things going. Nothing ever goes as planned. It seems like, it's kind of like when you go on a ride, you run off, and all of a sudden things go wrong and go haywire.
Oh,
I think you had a experience last year, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. It was September of last year, 2023. Coming back from Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. What was supposed to have been about a 6.5 hour ride turned into about a 12 or 13 hour trip. A lot of people on here probably already heard the story, but those of you who haven't, bears repeating, I guess. I was coming home from Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and when I was down there is quite the experience because it rained, and that night, instead of being in the tent, Mr. and Mrs. Thumper, which some of you know of, invited me to stay in their RV, and that was good. And we had the day of riding and checking out vendors and stuff that next day. That following night, I went ahead and stayed in my tent, which happened to be full of ants. I did not, the whole area where we were at, her two wheels and a couple other people who were in the little area that I was in, they had ants also. And that was at the Flathead Rally Point. But of course, I got to meet some great people there. Some people that some bigger YouTubers that I never thought I'd meet, but I did, like her two wheels, and then Adam Sandoval, and then Shade Tree Surgeon, and then the more respectful ones too, Mike and April, and
right,
from riding in those Ozarks. But anyhow, on the way back, I had got just Missouri-Arkansas border and had a blowout on the rear tire. Well, the car that was coming toward me, it slowed down and stopped, and two great big old burly guys and one little skinny dude. And come find out they were on their way to pick up a drum set or something for one of their kids. But come find out they were part of a local motorcycle group there. And they took me, and we went to they got a trailer, and we loaded it up, took it to their garage, or one of the garages, one of the members. and we plugged the tire. I had to take it off and plug it and everything. Well, you got it aired up, and then I made it. Oh golly, another three hours or so from there, and got just north of Sykeston, Missouri, and the plug let out. And I riding along 60, 65 on the interstate, on Interstate 55, and I felt getting squirrely. So I just slowed it down, and just so happened that it was right at an exit. So I was able to get off the road and down onto the exit ramp. Well, my sister, it happened to live in the town where that exit was, there at Scott City, Missouri. I called her, and I had forgot that she was at a wedding.
Oh man.
Yeah. Up by where I live, which, a good hour and 15 minutes away from where I was at. And, but anyhow, I was able to call her husband's son, and she gave me the number, and then she called him also. Well, he was able to come get me, and we got a trailer and then hooked up to his little Toyota pickup truck. I mean, it was a small, old Nissan, probably a Nissan truck. Anyhow, it was old, like 70s truck. And pulling that little trailer, and we got it to my house. But then again, at that point, I was so tired. I was so disgusted. I mean, I even thought about getting rid of the bike. And
that definitely happens.
Yeah. And my girlfriend said, no, don't do it. She said, you'll regret it. Smartest thing she ever said to me. Right? Okay. But I still had it in the back of my head. It was only by grace that I was able to keep the bike up. And I thought
you got lucky.
Yeah. And what if it happened again? I'm not getting any younger. And so that's when I went and got me a trike kit. And I talked to the people at Voyager and said, I'm a veteran. I'm on disability. What can you do for me?
Right.
And this is a $4,000 trike kit. And I was able to get it for $3,000.
Dang,
they knocked $1,000 off of it for me. Plus they paid the shipping, and then it cost me another $400 to have somebody put it on the bike shop where I usually go. But in the meantime, like I said, I'd blown the tire, and I had some people step up, and they were just blessings. I had one couple that I met at Bikes, Brews, and Barbecue that sent me a tire. I had another couple who on my PayPal sent me a couple $100, and then somebody else sent me like $30. And I didn't ask for any of it.
Right. Yeah, this community is awesome on stuff like that.
Yeah, I did not ask for any of it. I just so happened to have my PayPal on my homepage, on my page, just in case, but I don't ask for anything.
Yeah. But I had that experience. Sorry about that, but I had that experience too, where people just reach out to try to help you. It's great in the community.
Oh yeah. And, I count it as a blessing. And then I was, like I said, Voyager helped me with the price and the shipping and everything of the trike kit. So
that kit looks really good on your bike. I mean,
well, the red and black go pretty good together,
Yeah.
And then, then the first time I really went any distance on the kit was back down to Eureka Springs for Spring Fling this past spring.
Can you adjust the amount of weight that is on the back tire on that kit, or is it all like a preset thing? Because I know it's still got the back tire, right?
I still got the back tire. You have to do a preload on it. And they say what it is, you just pretty much, you got some bolts on your rear shackles of the kit that you have to loosen up. You drive over like a 1x4 or, a 2, something like just, something to give your tire, up, and then you
Right.
tighten those up, and it causes a preload, so it helps your rear tire grip better.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. That's like one of those things where you're riding and things go haywire. I mean, it
Yeah,
seems to be my life lately is that if anything can go wrong during something, nothing goes as planned, it could all just go haywire.
yeah.
So
Well, that's what's been bad lately. I've been getting in my head of you know, what if this went wrong? What if that happened? And more often than not, it probably wouldn't. But I've been offered to go on longer trips. Evil Rick was wanting me to go out to Mobbing the Mountain with him last year,
yeah.
and I didn't because I was thinking, what if it breaks down? You know, if I had a Harley Davidson, okay, more people know how to work on them or do stuff with them, you know, to
Yeah.
where okay, I'm on a metric bike. They'll look at me like, uh huh, just
Right. But I mean, really, realistically, metric bikes like yours don't have a lot of problems with them normally, do they? Because I mean,
no,
I,
no. I mean, everybody I've talked to said good things about the V Star.
yeah.
You
Because
know,
I mean, most of my Harleys are older, and I mean, I have breakdowns consistently, especially on choppers. I mean, choppers want to do chopper things every time we go for a ride on one, it seems like, but that's just expected.
right?
But everybody that I know that rides the metric bikes and everything, they do well.
Yeah,
Um, but I didn't like I did a ride last year. I was doing my first iron butt. I was going to try to pull one off, and I got 983 miles into my iron butt on my way home, about 3 hours from my house, and my drive belt snapped
yeah,
and left me on the side of the road. And my son was 4 hours away because he was an hour south of my house. And I sat on the road for probably 4 hours
yeah.
and just relaxed on my bike. I mean, few people stopped. I was surprised that more people didn't stop.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I just sat there, and people are amazing. Like the farmer's house that I broke down, they offered me to come in their house and have dinner with them.
yeah.
And so, I
Let's
mean,
see it. See, that's what I've got too is a drive belt on mine, and I always wonder about that. Uh, uh, who was it? Ray on his way down to Daytona back in February of this year.
yeah,
He had his belt snap on him.
yeah. And honestly, I haven't since my belt broke. That bike is still in the trailer at my son's house. I haven't even messed with it. I put it in there and I was going to get it home, and then it wasn't too much longer before I had my stroke, and then that kind of put everything on hold.
Yeah, yeah.
So
India Mikey's right. They're good bikes. They suffer with aftermarket.
yeah.
Support and stuff.
Merry Christmas, Drew. Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you in here.
Howdy, Drew. I got it.
Yeah.
Got the hat
So
there. Got the shirt hanging back up there. And in my Instagram post, I did not post the stickers, but I did get the stickers also.
yeah, I think Roland Rattle's doing good things for the community too. He's got a good plan with what he's doing.
Yep.
Um, I think he's got a lot of good stuff going on. I like what he's doing there,
Yeah.
um, and bringing people in and everything. And that's what it's about, is seeing the community grow and kind of uniting the people. That's what I've been doing with Live at Five, is trying to get people shared and support each other, because I mean that's what makes growth. I mean, and the small guys, just like Drew and Roland Throttle, they're trying to compete with bigger companies.
Right.
The smaller companies and smaller people sticking together is what makes growth happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
Well,
the people that he has come on are great.
see, that's like everybody I've come across who's got Harleys. You know, they're not stopping me for having a metric bike. But would I rather have her? Oh yeah. Can I afford one? Hell no.
Right. That's
you
yeah.
know.
And like I've told a bunch of people, I mean, I got lucky in the chopper. Like it is kind of clicky. But the chopper group is kind of different in the motorcycle community than the outside community because
Yeah.
the smaller, like you've seen at a cycle showcase, we're all just hanging out together talking. But I still talk to 90% of those guys, and they've reached out. That's how
Oh
I
yeah.
got doors just kind of opened up kind of quick for me, and I had a good start on this 25 season coming in, and then life told me I had to slow down. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I'm getting ready to start getting back at it. So,
Yeah.
um, anybody else out there have any crazy stories from the road or anything when they're breakdowns or anything like that, where their rides just went haywire? Uh, it's kind of reminiscent rides this year.
Mhm.
Every time you're out there, it's riding. There's always something that goes wrong. You can always plan the best ride out, but you just can't plan the outcome of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Frogzilla's out here. Oh, Frogzilla's probably going to bed. He's been up. I'm surprised Sick's not sleeping yet. I mean, Sick was up late, just did a late live, and he came in here.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
about every trip's an adventure after all. After it all goes right. Yep.
Tom Bailey said he's going to bed. He's had way too big a piece of chocolate cake and a glass of milk.
Yep.
Uh,
That that is the exact it right there.
yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking of, but I wasn't about to say anything because
Yeah.
I know he has an adventure about every time him and Crystal go out. Either him or Crystal, something will happen.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
We've had some.
they've had stolen bikes, they've had tornadoes, they've had oh, uh,
Yeah, they've had
bent
it.
rods stuff, just nuts.
Yeah, he has some stories. I mean, he's got good content too. So yeah, you know, Indian Mikey. I didn't see him on YouTube for a long time. He's up here in Michigan now, and I talk to him on Instagram once in a while. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's Indian Mikey anymore though. But I think it's
Well, no, that's what he is now. Is Indian Mikey, but he used to go by Mikey Motorcycle years ago.
I don't think he has an Indian anymore.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, he says shh.
Yeah. No, but he's good people, man. I talked to him. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's
But yeah, I talk to him on Instagram once in a while. Um, yeah, he quit doing the YouTube stuff, and
yeah,
it's this stuff is if you, I'm a numbers person by trade of my job and everything. I look at things and I'm like, and if you look at numbers on YouTube, you're gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't. I mean, I like to see growth, but as far as well, if I do this, this will happen, or this will happen. I just no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like what Roland Throttle just said here that's kind of the same thing. My wife and me, when we ride, people ask to go on rides with us just because it's not about the ride, it's about the adventure. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, I can just about guarantee something's going to go wrong. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, out of those times it's my bike that it happens to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I lost my headlight riding in a rainstorm through downtown Chicago on the way to Wisconsin on my chopper. I literally watched it pouring down rain.
Yeah.
And I watched my headlight fall. It hit my tire, the front tire, and it just shot up in the air and right over me.
Huh.
And so the wire just everything was gone. And the guys that we were with, they're like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, "Well, I can't just stop."
Hey, Drew. There's sometimes I've got Harley parts on my bike. You just have to do a little fabricating.
That's one thing, is that stuff all fits.
Yeah. Well, my sissy bar on my back bar is a Harley Davidson bar. So it's my rack. So
I carry spare bikes when I go places. That's how my luck is. Like, not one, but I'll put 1 or 2 bikes in the trailer. That's how my luck seems to be lately. So if it can break, I can. If it can break, I can break it. If it's not supposed to break, it'll still break on me.
Yeah.
I built that bagger for my wife, and that thing never has a problem at all. So I learned a lot of that. Dr. Harley's coming in.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Dr. Harley. Thanks
Merry
for coming
Christmas,
in.
Doc.
Crystal took over shipping. Yeah. My wife has taken over a lot of stuff at my business because I forget a lot. And I'm horrible at shipping, and shipping and receiving is not my best thing. I'm good at ordering. I can order everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had this year. This year I'm hoping for a better 2025. I mean, everybody's pretty much had pretty good years, but I just myself, right? My year was going good and it ended horrible. So
yeah. Well, mine started off good. Cycle showcase and spring fling, and then it got to the summer, and then my fall was just, it fell apart. Well, a lot of it was my SUV the car problems I had with my SUV.
Congratulations on the new car, Dr. Harley.
Yeah.
Come right at Christmas time with a new ride. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. I looked at that and I answered his put a comment on his post. I said, "Hold on, that's not a new Road Glide." He said, "I've already got a Road Glide." I said, "Yeah, but it's not 24."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just I like my Road Glide, even though it's older, but I like the bikes the way they look and everything, but I just personally I would honestly rather have a kickstart than some of the newer technology. And
well, I'll tell you what, I wish they still had kickstart option. I mean, I don't mind the electric start, but I like to have the option if,
Right. Yeah.
Because you never know when a starter button's going to go bad or a starter's going to go out on you.
Yeah, and it's you can push start it, but it's not fun.
No. Yeah, I'm beyond that.
Yeah. We when the last week when I told the story about up at Baldwin for the blessing when my buddy's battery went out, there was 6 people that were like, "Oh, we can push start that bike." Hey, you can't run fast enough to push start that bike. Yeah, every time we tried it, it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I used to have a Suzuki GS 425L that I used to. Every once in a while I had to push start it because it wouldn't.
Yeah, that's like what Dr. Harley said. If you can't kick it, you're not riding it.
Yeah. Well, there's sometimes I get kind of PO'd at it and just want to kick it over. I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a different kind of kick over.
It won't start, but it'll kick. You can kick it.
Yeah, you kick it over that way, it doesn't start either. I've got that old kickstart iron head that I picked up. It's kind of a basket case, and my son, they helping me on it, and it burnt through every starter that we had before we got that thing to start. Both my legs were burnt out. Both my son's legs burnt out. My daughter comes in, and I'm like, "If you can kickstart that bike, it's yours." One kick and the bike started.
Huh.
And we'd been kicking the thing all day long, and she just come in and kicked it. It was a timing thing. We'd been messing with the timing on it, and we put plugs in, did a bunch of stuff, and it just happened to be that her kick was the one that started it.
Uh-huh.
She don't want no part of it because she's like, that's what you got to do every time you got to ride it. I don't want to do that. And so, but
Oh, but no, this coming up year, like I said, I've got plans. Definitely cycle showcase, even if it's a turn and burn. I'd like to do spring fling again. Plan on doing. I like to do hog rock and Little Sturgis, Kentucky, they call it Kentucky Bike Rally or Little Sturgis. It's in Sturgis, Kentucky, but as far as plan, that's about it. Not unless there's different little rides and stuff.
Yeah, I think, like I told you earlier, I think I want to go to cycle showcase. Right now, it's a toss up right now between the Garage Brew in Ohio and the Full Throttle show in North Carolina.
Oh, Smoke Out?
No, in February 1st, there's a big show in North Carolina.
Oh.
It's a Full Throttle Customs magazine bike show. And I was asked to go to that one last year, and I kind of forgot about it this year. And by the time I'd remembered it and heard about it, I had already entered for the Garage Brood show, but they haven't emailed me back. And I pretty much told the guys at Full Throttle that if I don't hear back first week of January, just plan on me coming down to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, but that's
Dr. Harley. I would love to go to Daytona, but my wallet says,
I'm not a big rally guy.
No.
I've never been to Daytona. I've never been to Daytona the week of Daytona Bike Week, and I've never been to Sturgis the week of Sturgis. And I like the smaller rallies. I'm more of the chopper rally thing. The more of the party, not the ride kind of thing. Take bikes, look around at them.
Oh, that's the thing is with me, and it's not so much I go to parties to party. I like to watch people.
Yeah.
I like to sit back and just watch it, and then people. Then you sit there and say, "Idiot, dumbass."
And I've got this hill climb bike that I've been working on for a while that is set up to run on nitromethane, and I mean I'm looking forward to finishing that thing and taking it to like a hill climber place where they have dirt drags, just because that's what it's set up for do, isn't it? But it doesn't run you can't run it a lot because you got to tear it apart after you run it a bunch. It's not, you run stuff on nitromethane and it doesn't do pretty things for it.
Right.
But you also can't run it and stand inside of a shop or a garage or anything very long because you won't see, your eyes will be burning so bad.
Yeah.
So only thing Eagle Rick has got planned is hog in the spring and mobbing.
Yeah.
Mobbing is kind of iffy.
Yeah. Well, he invited me to ride with him to mobbing last year, and I kind of backed out on it. But then again, I'm thinking that I talked with him a little bit, and if he stops, if his ride plan is, every so often stretching and this and that, yes, I might do it.
Yeah, I have the issue, which after riding choppers for so long, and I mean, not that I've been riding them forever or anything, but I've rode 600 mile days on choppers. And just the other day, I told somebody I rode 600 miles one day on the chopper on a hardtail, and we went to the hotel and everybody went out to eat and everything. I went to the hotel and I passed out in bed. I was sore. I was beat up.
Yeah.
My wife was cracking up because I had like a bed sore on my butt from my tailbone rubbing on the seat. And And the next morning when everybody's walking out, I come walking out with a pillow out of the hotel. And I
Yeah.
set that pillow on my bike seat and rode around Milwaukee with that pillow on my bike seat.
Yeah.
And rode all the way home with that same pillow.
Well, when I went to Bikes, Brews, and Barbecue, it's about a 350-mile ride, and I didn't hydrate like I should have, and I got there and I was kind of dehydrated, and that didn't help that whole weekend situation.
Oh yeah.
But now when it came to spring fling, I made sure I stopped, stayed hydrated, stuff like that. But
I mean, for years, that's all I had was 2 choppers. I didn't have anything. And then it was 10 years ago, my wife and kids got me a road glide for Father's Day. And that once I got that bike, my people that rode with us, my wife started telling them, he don't have to stop for gas every 100 miles now. And he literally, that's what he stops is for gas.
Yeah.
I can put about 280 miles on that bike ish, depending on how I'm riding. Yeah. And I'll go that far before I stop. Yes, Dr. Harley hydrates with beer.
Yeah. You're like, what's a suspension?
Yeah. And I watched a ton of suspension videos, and I'm like, why am I watching this stuff? Like, I'm watching all these suspension videos, and I'm into it, and I'm like, I literally have 3 Springer front ends, a girder front end, and then I have 21 over, no suspension whatsoever, old school chopper front end that's freaking long.
Yeah.
So it's got twisted forks and everything, and my dad had it in the 70s.
Yeah. I know, change the subject. I mean, I know not everybody watches him or cares for the guy, but, and there's things I don't care about him, but I do watch some of his stuff. And that's the Cycle Fanatics. Do you see that Springer that he's giving away?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful bike.
One of the people I follow, I don't think he's got a YouTube page, but one of the people I follow is Gusher Cycles on Instagram. He was at Cycle Showcase. He had that digger, that really sweet digger that he unveiled last year. I follow him. He's always giving away some killer chopper parts and drawings. And I mean, a lot of these chopper guys are killing it with the drawings and the raffles and the. You can $100 you can get in, get a chance, and I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm seeing if my son-in-law's here, but my son-in-law and my daughter have been taking care of me right now so well, and when my wife's running the shop since my stroke, the chopper I'm building right now, I'm gonna give it to him when I do the unveil.
Yeah.
So he don't ever watch this stuff, so I'm safe to say that, and my other kids know. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's active in the Army and everything, and he takes really good care of my daughter and my granddaughter. So yeah, you met him at Cycle Showcase, and I'm gonna give him one of the bikes. He might get it tomorrow. Might find out about it tomorrow. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's been my plan the whole time. Randall knew about it. He probably knew about it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy. I talk to him quite regularly on Instagram. He's been checking up on me and stuff.
Right.
So sometime at one of the shows, it'll be unveiled. I mean, that bike, when it's done, I'm not going to unveil it anywhere else but his show, because he's been so supportive to this whole thing for me. If I got to wait a year again to unveil for a show, I'll wait for that year.
Right.
So, I mean, he's got 40 shows a year now, at least 4 or 5. So there's chances. So hell, I might just have to make a ride down again. Yeah. Indian Mikey, like I said, he's a great guy. I wish he was still on here more. It's good to see her on Christmas Eve and everything. appreciate everybody coming in. This is kind of a throw it at the wall and see what sticks. I was going to do it on Monday nights, but I seen Moto Noggin did his on because Christmas Eve. And, I like the community. I don't want to step on people's toes, and everybody's going live and doing lives a lot. But I kind of like just doing it to hang out and it's good to get growth and get to see people and everything like that. And I can't wait to see Dr. Harley get back to work on his chopper. I know he's had some issues on it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's been a long process working on that one.
The choppers are. I mean, I am here to tell you that you can build a bagger or you can build any other kind of motorcycle, but if you start trying to build a nice quality chopper, not something that's going to be rideable, that's not going to break all the time, that you're not just making a show bike, but if you're trying to make a quality chopper, you're building a motorcycle in your fabrication, your test, your fit, your design, your everything on it, and it's a money issue. Just like you just said right here, it's a money issue. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
I have everything I need plus another bike to do one right now, and I've already figured it out because we've been in the talks of build offs and things like that.
Right.
And my son and me have talked about what kind of price limit do we want to do to set one on it. I could not build one with everything that I have. I don't think it can be done for less than $8,000.
Yeah.
Pinching the numbers as far down as I can. I don't think I can build one for less than $8,000. Yeah, you're about 10 grand, but
and from 10 grand short from finishing the bike.
That's 10 grand short. Yep. And it doesn't matter. Like
nice
when I say $8,000, I literally had the motor, the frame, the wheels, pretty much all the big expensive stuff, but the little stuff that you need or the machine work and all that stuff, it's tough. I mean, I don't have a shop. I build out of a shed. I mean, I think the shed in Michigan is a thing for building motorcycles.
Yeah.
But I don't have the machines. I got a machine shop that I use that I go in to make stuff, but I still got to toss them a little bit of money, and all that stuff's not cheap. And I mean, my War Machine chopper, I got asked to bring it to a show in March, and I'm not going to make it because I got to paint. I had some issues towards the end of the season with the tank, and I'm either going to change the tank or repaint it. So,
right.
American Uncensored, hello. Merry Christmas. So, yeah. But yeah, definitely. Anybody else wants to jump on to say something? I can get you the link and jump on and see what's going on. I know Rob Benjamin's going to be live tomorrow, Shadow. So I'll share that on the live at 5. That's what I've been doing, the live at 5s, because I think you probably remember when I was in last March when I was over there at the Donnie Smith show. You were home and I was at the hotel, but I'm like, hey, who's going live? Because on the phone it's hard to search that stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So, but if you got a computer, so I started doing live at 5, and it's kind of fun for me, and it's just keeps my.
I like how you do it because it's more just a brief update.
It's just a brief update for the day, and I keep it short, sweet, 20. I try to keep it under a half hour, and introduce a couple of channels. A lot of people don't, the smaller channels, they get passed over, but they have good content like that. The one that Roll and Throttle introduced that I did the little thing on last night. Behind the Bars, Father of Son. That I like that channel. I mean, that their stuff. I mean, that channel, that stuff reminds me of my son and me. And but I like that a lot. I will not be that's up for that's that's still up a little bit, Rob. Um, I don't have an answer for that yet. I guess is the best way to put that. So I I missed life changing events from my stroke, but the chopper community, like I've said, is huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've got emails on top of emails from people. I had people calling me when I was in the hospital, asking what they could help, what they could do to help.
Right.
And so, in fact, text messages and everything. And I've got the fender on my chopper about done, and I've got people that could do the fender by far much better than me that are willing to finish the fender for me and have it ready for paint if I just send it to them. But I don't want to do that. If I send it and have somebody else build it, somebody else built that bike.
Yeah.
So, and this one I wanted to do a lot more. And so, like my son's, I let him do his, and then this one came out to be the way that I want to build it. So,
right.
But yeah, I like the way your trike went and everything. So, you got anything else planned besides Cycle Showcase yet?
As far as definite, no. But like I said, there's things I'm wanting to do. Like I said, spring fling probably again. Hog rock, maybe little Sturgis, and or mobbing them out. And I think Evil Rick, me and him might ride out together. Because Evil Rick's just a little 45 minutes north of me. I don't get up to see him as often as I should, but
yeah, you guys got a lot more to do down around you, and south of you. You've got some good area. I mean, we have good area up here in Michigan, but the chopper life it's rough up here. I mean, we have to travel to have anything good. You wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
I mean, the best show I had that I went to this year was definitely the Dam Show in Detroit with Randy Hayward there. But I rolled into where my wife and me took my son's bike, my chopper, and another bike over to a Pontiac show. And on the way there, the trailer had a flat tire.
Yeah.
And we were late. And when I say we were late to the show, they were getting ready to start judging.
Oh, wow.
But we were already pre-entered. They'd already done all the people choice and everything, but the judges were getting ready to do the judging when we rolled in. And I was leaving the bikes in the trailer. I was already like, hey, let's just go support it. I'll go talk to some people. Yeah. And a couple of people came over and said, hey, get the bikes out of the trailer. Let's get them over there to the show. And my sons took judge's choice, and it was already entered, and they pretty much already knew that it was taking it, and they knew I was coming. Yeah. So, but I felt bad because there was other bikes there.
Right.
But I travel across the state, and they'd asked me to come because they wanted a couple of those there.
Right.
And the bigger builder that was there judging is I've known him for a while, and my dad's known him for most of my dad's life, and he's known him and built choppers with him. Right. So when I was showing up, and they're like, "Yep, just bring it. That's coming out of the trailer right now."
Yeah. And see, that's the one thing about the Cycle Showcase. It's not a judged show; it's an unveiling show.
Yes. Yep.
Pretty much,
All right, Dr. Harley. Good night. I know it was a later show, but that's I did that on the Christmas Eve thing for a hangout. I don't know. I don't really have a timeline on it, but if I don't seem to sleep much at night, but if you get tired or anything,
I usually don't go to bed till like 1 a.m.
But yes, that's exactly what I can tell you, that that's the biggest thing that I like about Cycle Showcase, about the damn show, about a lot of the chopper shows. The Donnie Smith show is a judge show,
Yeah.
but when that's one of the things I was saying. The chopper lifestyle is it's a hang out with your friends. You know, they'll come over and tell you, hey, that bike, I like what you did there, or
Yeah.
you might hear, I mean, I like it. Somebody will come up, hey, that's gonna kill you. You know, that's not a good idea. That looks really good, but that's gonna kill. You're gonna die.
Right.
So, and they'll tell you there's no holding back. They there isn't a they don't tell you with kitten gloves if you're doing something wrong. But if you're doing something right, you're gonna know about it. But if you're doing something wrong, you're gonna know just as well. But they
Right.
don't mean any harm by it.
No.
It's a so. Hey, Robin, did you hear anything on Ollie? I'd seen you had some emails to read. That's why I was wondering. Thanks for stopping in. Also, you know OC, don't you? XAN
Pardon?
OC.
No, I've seen him, and I've
Super big supporter, super nice guy.
yeah.
He,
I've never
he
met him. I don't know what he looks like or anything, but I've talked with him in side chats.
Man, the guy he's a solid guy. He lives in the Philippines. But he's in the hospital. His pacemaker failed, so he's getting a new pacemaker put in. That's the way I was understanding it. But yeah, super awesome guy. Just we've had some Robin, myself, Tolga, them guys being from different parts of the world. We've had some late night conversations during my stroke when I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and couldn't get back to bed, and they were just getting up, and we did a lot of talking. Another part of that community. Buck Brown's in here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just noticed that.
I wonder if Indian Mike is still in here. They're starting to gang up in us.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but Evil Rick, I mean, that Evil Rick's probably one of the most solid. I've never met him in person, but he's a very solid guy.
Evil Rick, yeah, he
emails me and he will be straightforward, and I like it. He's blunt as can be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I like that about him because that's just the same thing as like I told you in the chopper world. If it's not working, if somebody don't tell you, you don't know. You can't fix it if nobody tells you.
Yeah.
And everybody that's in this side chat is just legendary people, as far as legendary being the type of people that they are.
Oh, see, there's quite a few here in the side chat I've met actually. Beside you, I met Evil Rick, I met Frogzilla, I met Lolly, I met Jamin. And it's all through YouTube that I met them, and then I met them at other places,
And like I have friends in this area. Well, not where I'm at now. I'm about
Tiger Ward I've met.
Yeah. And I mean, you're the only one in here that I've met in person. Indian Mikey and me have been close to meeting, but we're kind of opposite sides of the state. And every time that it seems like a couple times that when we did it, like when I was on that side of the state, he was on the other side of the state of Muskegon, which is where I'm at now, but I was where he was at.
Right.
So, and I met Busted. Busted's good people. I haven't seen him in any side chats in a while. And I think that's just because we're missing each other. So that, but then like I've met, that other couple that we met, not Mike and April, the Wagonators. I haven't seen them much.
Yeah.
Have you heard much from them?
They commented on a Instagram post that I did the other day.
Gotcha.
And they were in somebody else's side chat the other day, just briefly. But yeah, I've met the Wagonators.
Nice.
The Thumper, Evil Rick's the Thumpers I've met.
Hey, I got a question for Rob.
Busted, Bellum, Windrow Therapy, Fat Glide, Kelp Fire. Yeah. You
I have
know,
a question for Rob Benjamin because I've seen that 53-day thing earlier too. What is the 53-day thing for Rob Shadow? I don't know what that is, but I was curious because I seen it on his live stream earlier. So
yeah, you just had it up there.
yeah,
53
yeah,
days from
being
uh,
legendary.
yeah. No matter what, you're 53 days from being legendary. It's just
Yeah,
something he
yeah.
puts out there.
So, but that is like, and Buck Brown's a solid dude too. Even though he does ride the Indian, he's a very very solid dude in the way that he is for the community and everything.
Yeah.
Sick bastard, he may not be able to give a whole lot financially or kind of support, but that's not always what's important. I
Yeah.
mean, and he sends out handwritten letters. I mean, that's huge. Um, Robin's different. And I will warn anybody that comes into some of Robin's late night chats that we're in, especially if OC and Tolga and me are in there, it gets dangerous. Literally, like I would almost hate to be the trolls and the bots get scared and leave. They definitely get scared and leave.
But
So
behind the Kentucky boys are in here behind bars.
yeah, I just seen that. I was just throwing it up. We were just talking about you guys earlier. I don't know if if your ears are ringing or not, but I definitely really like your show, the father and son thing. Hope to run into you guys somewhere. If you're in the Kentucky area, I don't know if you know about Cycle Showcase, but that's in St. Louis, and that'd be a really good show for you guys.
Yeah, I think they're just north of Lexington,
Yeah,
Kentucky. So
yeah, but that's
I was going by the Harley dealership or the Indian
yeah.
dealership that they were at, and like, okay, where's that at? So I got me to looking. They're
Speaking
probably
of,
just a little south of Cincinnati.
all right, that's 3 Indian people in my side chat now. This is dangerous Christmas Eve. There could be a war breaking out eventually here. We're gonna have to play Cowboys and Indians or something. So getting a dang letter from XAN in California is definitely a YouTube highlight. Heck, his sticker is still on my laptop. Huh.
Yeah,
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 handwritten letters are. I mean, I was in the service before computers, like you were.
yeah.
We didn't get to make phone calls. I mean,
Oh
handwritten
no,
letters.
no.
It's a memory that it means more because the memories that it brings back. I think is
Yeah,
what I didn't. I've had that letter from Sick for a week in a package from John, um, retired rider that I haven't even opened. I'm waiting for Christmas because
yeah,
with this year's the way things are going, I didn't even do any Christmas shopping, and I told everybody not to get me anything, and those are
yeah.
going to be my two gifts. So
Well, like I said, I got the hat and T-shirt from Rolling Thought of the Day. To me, that's Christmas. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's the little things, man. It don't matter to me.
yeah, it is.
And it's funny because I don't like. I have this hat that's a Harley hat that I got a gift from one of my kids,
Yeah,
but I don't have a lot of Harley clothes. I was talking with somebody else earlier, wheel burners. I'll wear a small shop stuff and support a small shop, and watch them grow. That's
yeah,
why I do the small channel. That's why I support the small channels and throw that stuff out there. Yeah, I'm a small channel too, but I do this as a hobby. This is
yeah,
fun for me, and yeah, I'm. If I ever get moderated, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in a different way where I can do giveaways and things like that. It's a hobby
yeah,
that I'm not. It's a hobby that I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on because
yeah. I don't ever look to get monetized, but if I do, the money will go back to the people. I mean, that's pretty
yeah,
much.
that's the way I'm doing it because the people are giving it, and that's I build choppers, and choppers take money, and I can't I can't have two expensive hobbies at one time, and that's and my son, we do it as a hobby, and
Yeah,
I and now it's to the point where we've acquired enough basket cases that we can build a few bikes.
right.
But now I have the issue that my wife has decided that I can't sell bikes when I'm done with them because she gets attached to them. My plan has been build the bike, get rid of it. She's like, but we can't, like, when I got sick, I'm like, hey, sell one of the motorcycles. She's like, no. I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, we don't need money like that.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it if we need the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is awesome right there. That whole thing was pretty sweet. I think you guys will do good at it. So I like gas and parts. Shirts aren't in the budget. That's right. Yeah. And the thing is if you support a small channel or a small shop or a small business like Rolling Throttle, like you are, you're going to get more out of that than you go to a Harley shop. Harley's not going to give you anything.
No.
Unless you're 1 million plus subscribers or you're a bigger channel. I mean, Professional Monkey, he doesn't get free things from Harley. He gets stuff from smaller shops like Advan Black. He's been friends with Alan since they were.
Well, he did get that 131 last year.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, I forgot about that. So
he did get that 130, but then he goes and trades the bike in.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on that it's who you know and how you support them.
Oh,
and like watching the smaller people grow and banding together to build that, just the relationships. I mean, like hanging out with you down there at Cycle Showcase, that was a great time. Oh, we have an issue now.
Yeah.
We have awakened father time.
Oh, hey. Filthy bikers.
So
I took a shower, DDK.
we're reminiscing about things, but I guess no better story for somebody to tell the story of Christmas than DDK.
Yeah. I tell you what, we got, that's what it is. We got to give him some respect. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, he's great, man. He is great.
Well, what gets me is he, they make fun of him because he looks older. He's younger than I am.
Yeah, he looks old and dusty.
Oh.
So yeah, but yeah, definitely Merry Christmas to everybody, and I know that holidays for me we usually do them. Like our Christmas is going to be after Christmas because it's just easier to get everybody together.
I had an uncle by marriage. He married my dad's sister. This guy was so tight that they did not have Christmas till after New Year's. Because he'd go in the Hot Toys or whatever and that.
Yeah.
He'd get them on clearance. He'd get them on sale after,
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like we don't do it for that reason, but like my kids all have their own families now, and I'm like, hey,
yeah.
And my son, both my daughters, they all work in the healthcare industry, and every one of them is working tonight.
Yeah.
And tomorrow because there's such a shortage in the healthcare, they'd rather work.
Well, yeah, healthcare and law enforcement and firefighters, those are the people they're always, it don't matter when it is. If they have to work, they have to work.
Yeah. That's the thing is that when you get in that, that particular thing, and that's why you're there, because you care for people.
Yeah.
And when I had my stroke and I had my granddaughter with me and that whole thing happened, and when I went to the hospital, and my son was working at the hospital when I got there, and he couldn't draw my blood. And the doctor's like, well, what do you mean you can't draw his blood? And he's like, that's my dad.
Oh.
And there, because you can't, and so the doctor's like, well, somebody has to draw his blood. So the doctor ended up drawing my blood.
Oh, wow.
So,
hey, doctor's like, now I remember doing this in med school. Do I remember?
Right. Well, the other nurse helped him, but
Oh,
it was a right now scenario because they had to
yeah.
push the contrast and do everything and right there. It's going well. Um, I have things that I'm working through. My hearing aids will be in on the 6th of January,
Mm.
which is going to help me considerably. I have these headphones are on full blast. You can probably hear them in the room next to me, and I have trouble hearing with them.
Oh, yeah.
But that's only in one ear. My left ear is shot. I lost 80% of the hearing in my left ear in the stroke. I lost
Wow.
100%. My left eye, like I have no peripheral vision.
Right.
But I've got my hands back. From day one, I started working on my hands.
Yeah.
And the doctors told me that I had a cerebellum stroke, which is the base of your brain. That's
Right.
your sensory things, and it's all my balance. Like if I tilt my head back, I fall over backwards.
Right.
I'm like an infant baby when it comes to. I have pillows sitting behind me because I can't sit up by myself yet.
Right.
So, and I just yesterday I moved from having to move around with a walker.
Right.
I've got to the point where I can get around with a cane, and I still have to use a wheelchair occasionally. But
Right.
I didn't use a wheelchair at the hospital. They hated it because from day one I was pushing myself to the point where I would fall. So they
Right.
had bed alarms and on the bed, and they'd put the rails up, and I
Yeah.
I was ready to go from day one. They weren't going to keep me. They weren't going to keep me down, and I've just been that way. I've got things I still want to do in my life.
Yeah.
So, but I've already accepted the fact that I may not ride motorcycles again. I might work on them. Well, I know I'll work on them, but I can honestly say I may not be able to ever ride a motorcycle again.
Oh, trike
So
it.
not even trike it.
Really?
There's safety reasons why.
Yeah.
Um, because of no like if somebody came at me from my left side, I couldn't see them.
Oh,
So and that's the biggest blind spot you have is your left side anyways and I can't see anything on my left side.
right.
So but it's I've got appointments coming up for doctors to see what they can do for my vision. But
Right.
if my vision doesn't change, I mean I not to say I'm not going to ride. I'd still ride, but I wouldn't ride the way that I was. I wouldn't be putting 1,000-mile days down. I wouldn't be hammering out rides by myself. I would be
Right.
riding with other people.
Right.
And because I couldn't push myself that way physically and my just there's a lot going on. Like
Right.
I got some heart issues and stuff that didn't have before. So
Well, when I was a kid, I knew a guy that he had a wreck and uh, messed. He was paralyzed from the waist down, but yet he was able to. After about 2 3 years, he was able to take and work the paralysis out. I mean, he still had to work use those canes that it's got the cuffs on them, to walk with. But he never could ride again. But he was still in the culture because
right.
he was a motorcycle mechanic and he worked,
Yeah.
and he kept busy and he's always doing something with the culture, even if it was like on a group ride, he was like a follow vehicle or something like
Yeah.
that.
And that's what I'll do. I'll run the chase vehicle. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, I still have 14 motorcycles. I mean, I'm not giving up the motorcycle life.
right,
It's just not going to happen.
right.
Hey, Lone Cowboy Adventures is in here. I met him at Cycle Showcase last year too.
Yeah,
He's a solid guy. I'm glad to see his channel going as good as it is.
yeah. I met
He's a,
him at Cycle Showcase and then at Spring Fling.
yeah, he's a trucker and a biker. That's kind of a big community in itself. Is the trucker biker crossover
Yeah,
thing is big. I mean, I follow a lot of truckers that I didn't used to just through the bike community. They're like I said, they're solid guys.
yeah. Well,
So
what it is, most of these guys that drive trucks and ride bikes, they are more respectful of the bikes on the road, unless you're being a total idiot
Right.
at riding a bike. You know.
Well, that's like I last week on the story with my wife when she almost got hit by the guy in the traffic when I was right there, and a
Yeah.
trucker, big. I mean, this guy was, if I say 300-400 pound, 6 foot, big guy.
Yeah.
Got out of the truck. He was going to rip the guy out of the car. Like
Yeah.
he was going to rip that guy's door off his truck. And I'm like, hey, no, don't do all that. We don't, I gotta.
Yeah.
So, and it was my wife, but this guy's he was so spun up and pissed off about it. He was going to kill the guy.
Yeah.
And so I would find there's, yeah, I've done that with my kids, and I've ride a chopper. I've had to ride with people before. It's not if when it happens, and it's just not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But I've told my wife already that if it comes down, I can't ride it. I'll be the one riding on the back of the motorcycle, and I wait for the person to say something.
Yeah.
So that's just the way that's the way it'll be. If I got to ride on the back of my wife's bike to get somewhere because I want to go for a ride, I'll be the guy that somebody could say something to and see how they feel about it.
Yeah. Well, the way they got comms and everything now, the guys riding the bikes, they can communicate with the chase vehicle,
Yeah. Yep.
Let them know what's going on.
Yep. Thank you. Behind bars. And I'm making a good recovery. I mean, I'm definitely not out here because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't post a lot of stuff when I was going through it because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I appreciate the support, but I'm not going for sympathy. I'm not that kind of person. I'm the move forward with it, and life goes on, and pick up the pieces and go from there. So, yeah. But definitely everybody. Yeah. So, but there's a lot of good events coming up next year. A lot of good smaller events.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if I ever did go to Sturgis, probably definitely won't be this year because that's going to be too crowded.
Yeah.
In the 85th,
If I do Sturgis, I'm going to roll in for the Sportster Showdown.
Yeah.
And a couple of the bike shows, chopper shows, and I'm going to roll out.
Yeah.
So I got to step away just for 1 second. I'm going to put it on mute and stop the camera. I'll be right back.
Lone Cowboy guesses I look okay. All right. The key, not my business. If you know what I'm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing to stay out of, DDK. It's just I stay out of it too. Sick Bastard saying good night. Okay, good night, Eric, isn't it? Well, it's me again. I don't know what to talk about. I just enjoy everybody that's coming in here.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Hey,
oh, that's all right.
Hey, I'm gonna throw the old
link out there.
Link out there. Let's see what happens with it.
Yeah, go fishing with it. There you go.
Yep. There we go. It's out there. So yeah, I threw the link out. Anybody wants to jump on, just go ahead and jump on. We've been doing this for about an hour, and I don't want to talk everybody ear off. And I know XAN, we like to kind of talk and meet people, but definitely if somebody else wants to get on, we can share some Christmas with everybody.
Behind bars, I'm seriously thinking about it. I just got the rolling throttle hat today and t-shirt there in the background. Just got them today, but yeah, I'm seriously thinking about going to mobbing the mountain and ride along with Evil Rick and whoever else might join us along the way.
We'll have to talk about that because maybe I'll run chase.
I have no idea. Evil Rick might know when it is. Well, I don't think no. Drew doesn't have a date for it yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's going to talk about it after the first of the year.
Yeah. Don't have an exact date for it yet.
Yeah, I got the big bummer out of the whole. The biggest bummer I got out of the whole thing was 6 months of suspended driving, and I'm like, oh, I don't drive that much anyways. I ride a motorcycle. The doctor's like, no, that includes any vehicle. 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, well, 6 months is not that bad. Oh boy, it's Robin.
A good night, Frogzilla. I'm sure Lolly's going with you.
We got our first victim jumping in, but he's a solid guy. This is Robin. It can get a little. He'll make somebody uncomfortable, but he's been better about keeping it clean. He's a solid, good guy. How you doing, Robin?
Dealing with it.
Yeah, you're in a different position.
I am at the wife's family farm right now, and me and the wife have the house to ourselves now. Everyone left.
Everybody left you at the house by yourself?
The house is haunted. Nobody wants to stay here.
Right. Oh, look at this one. We got a special one coming in here. Hold on. How are you doing, Indy and Mikey?
Hi, stranger.
Hey, look at that. Merry
For some
Christmas.
reason I have no sound, so I'll be back.
Okay. Just let us know when you're ready. You're at the.
No, I can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear you. But they so how was your Christmas, Robin? I know you're not a big Christmas fan. I'm surprised you even went there.
I have to go. It's for the wife.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. So
far, so good. Her brother came and hung out with us for, I don't know, like an hour and a half.
nice.
Left everyone. Yeah, and it was just me, him, and the wife, which was nice. Don't get to talk to too many people, like, well, especially her family, like one-on-one. There's always kids or something involved.
Right. I know how that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of kids, I'm rocking a kid with my foot right now. And she's sleeping, but if I stop, she looks at me like, why did you stop? So I love my grandkids. And they're like the best thing for my healing process. It's the best thing. I mean, they're here. We got Mikey coming back in.
Okay.
You got sound this time, Mikey?
Yeah, I got sound this time. Much better.
You got the Detroit Life shirt on and everything.
Yeah. So how you doing, stranger?
Oh, here, let me spin this way.
Oh,
there he is.
So you need the wide version.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, that it's kind of good that you moved to Michigan. You kind of brought good luck for the Lions this year, though.
Yeah, I brought back that winning stuff from the San Francisco Bay Area with me. Strangely, when I went out there, they were in like a drought for like 4 or 5 years, fires all over the place. We moved out there, and it rained like hell and everything flooded. So I brought them water and brought back winning to our football team. So I'm pretty pumped.
Right, there you go. Yep. So you have a good Christmas, or are you doing Christmas today or tomorrow?
We did one side of the family on the 22nd. What was that? I don't know. Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
We got the big days tomorrow, though. That's all over at my mom's house and whatnot. Wife and I have a hard time getting off of work. And being a full-time worker again is a pain. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's like me now. The suddenly retired, not wanting to be. And I'm like, what are my kids are always busy, and I'm like, it's good to see that, but it's like, man, now that I have time, they don't. And but I mean, I'm not retired just until I get better. So, but as a mechanic and not be able to look up, I mean, you know how that is. But I cannot look up, and if I look up or down, that's the direction I go.
Well, I'll tell you what you just said there reminds me of the cats in the cradle. You know.
Yeah.
You know, back growing up, you know, kids were younger. I didn't have time because I was busy. Now that I've got time, kids are busy. You know.
Yep.
Yep. So you, what do you got planned for this coming year? Anything new and adventurous?
Well, let's probably start with the old stuff first because I don't think a lot of these folks like during the election cycle. I'm a very political person. I don't vote. I don't care about any of that crap. So when all of that noise starts happening towards about May, June, I don't know when it was when it all started, but I just started deleting people and getting rid of them. Anything that I saw, I'm like, get out of here. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I got down to this like small group of people who, post about cats and things. I don't know, whatever, yeah, cats jumping on counters with tinfoil on them, and normal life stuff. So now that I'm through that, now I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to get back to the interwebs again and say hi. Shit about every 4 years it gets stupid, and then so that my channel actually started like right after an election cycle last time around. Yeah. And then we got closer to this one, and I'm like, okay, we'll get rid of everything. Look around a little bit. Okay, no, I'm good. Yeah, we're good. So there's a lot of folks out there that don't. I mean, they probably don't give a care, but got rid of the bike, sold the Indian, rode it down to Atlanta, rode it back. It was a great bike. Like, I enjoyed it. I just had done everything to it that I could, and I'm looking at. Well, I could go to I could do this. I start, building the engine. I could do that. And I was like, it's not how I ride it. So dump the bike, looking for another one this spring. Got a couple ideas on which route I want to go. Some are unaffordable. Some are, it's all going to depend on how everything shakes out. So,
yeah. So, that's a couple of times. Like, it was weird because we were in the same areas or on the other side of the state every single time, and it just kind of worked out that way.
I'm like, I'm in Muskegon. Like, this is weird.
We're like literally. So that's funny because I'm in. My daughter lives in Muskegon, and that's where I'm at right now. And everybody's like, I go to the Harley shop and talk to the guys, and they're like, "Well, why didn't you come to our bike week thing?" I was like, "Well, I was kind of invited to another show on the other side of the state, so it's not like I can just nope. I'm already here." And so.
Yeah, Pontiac's 30 minutes from my house. I work in Pontiac, so it's just not skipping a jump.
That was a good show too. I mean, there was Ron Finch was there, and I mean, we hung out quite a while with Ron Finch, and I've been to quite a few shows with him, and we always have a really good time. We did one a few years ago in Chicago, and I showed up at like 10 o'clock at night to this Coliseum with my trailer and the bikes in it, and he was outside indulging in some extracurricular activity, and we pull up and they wouldn't let us in, and they're like, well, why can't he come in? And he's like, well, we're security, nobody comes in. He's like, I have every one of my motorcycles and all of my artwork in there, I'm going in there. And they're like, well, who are you? And he says, I'm Ron Finch. And they're like, we got to get clearance to come in. So they called the show promoter, and they're like, yeah, no, let him in. So as soon as they opened the door, he's like, roll your shit in, set it up in my booth. And then, so we roll all my bikes in there, set them up in there. And we walk back out, and the security guard's like, what just happened? He's like, oh, I didn't have to go in there. I just wanted to get his bikes in there so nobody stole the trailer. So, I mean, he's just a down to earth, cool dude like that. And we hung out, had fun. That was just one of the fun things that he did. And, but my dad knew him back in the 60s and 70s. So wow, it's not like I didn't didn't walk up and meet him. So
right.
You guys are still really close together?
What was that? My dad?
Well, no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like the Chopper family is like, they're a pretty tight family. Like, all the builders, like, you start figuring out when you start going to some of these other shows that they're tight. I mean, everybody, it's like mechanics are tight. I mean, mechanics hang out together, and you can have a problem and you may not even like the guy, but you'll still help him. So
same in the, like, I build homes and stuff. The same thing happens up here. And I like to step up sometimes and let the guys remember, look at where we came from.
Yeah, and that's it. Because I mean, it's about that. Because if you're not going to help somebody, you might need that person's help eventually.
Exactly.
So, and, oh, Mikey, hey, heard that he sold the bike. He's over there yelling about it already.
Yeah, so like, so here's what I do is I buy motorcycles for if not retail price or the price on the sticker from a dealer, and then I dump about 15 or 20 grand into them, and I ride them for a year, and then I sell them for less than I bought them for, and that's worked out great.
That's called that's bike economics right there. That's 101 bike economics. I mean, you bought a Jeep. I mean, how'd that go? That Jeeps are even better economics.
Well, yeah. So kind of like the bike, only the Jeep I didn't finance, and I missed out on an incredible opportunity to take that ride with you too, because it was like that weekend. I think I bought that Jeep on a Friday. You hit me up Saturday to say, "Hey, let's go turn and burn to Milwaukee," and I'm like, "Oh, I was that white piece of shit out there." Ended up getting to the point to where to where I got the tub off of it, looked at it, and went, "I really don't want to do this." Put the tub back in it, sold it at about a $2,000 loss. Yeah. I don't know how I have a house, honestly. I don't know
You
how I
should
did.
start buying houses and fix those up. Trust me.
You have a house probably for the same reason I do. I have a wife that won't let me spend all of the money.
That's it right there. Yeah, and she has a great job. Yeah. Otherwise, I would be screwed.
Tiger Ward, good night. Good night, Tiger. Oh.
That's very rare. But Salty, actually, the reason I popped on, because I mean, something I've been thinking about getting a hold of you for anyways, and you had mentioned Host Community does things, and I figured I would, I have, and I know it might not be of complete interest to you, but you're a fabricator, so I'm sure you can figure something out with it. I got a bunch of leftover parts, ton of them. I want to maybe throw them in the car, swing by and drop them off. But a rear fender off that Indian that it's never going anywhere. It's not. But I was thinking, what the hell could I do with it? I think just throw it in the, and I'm like, that's good sheet metal. Like if I only knew a bike builder, and I'm like, I know a guy. So I got a bunch of crap, and now I'm recorded saying it, so it means I have to do it. Yeah. But lights and turn signals and things that might not be normal in the Harley world. But we got to figure out a time to where I can meet you somewhere, or I can work my way out there and drop all this stuff off, because it's just taking up space in my garage. Like I said, it's too good to throw away. And the market for Indian parts is about, as good as the market for Yugo. There aren't very
So what you're asking pretty much is, do you have a space to store my shit? If you want to use it, you can use it.
Okay, well, yeah. And it's taking up space in my garage. Just wondered if maybe you could,
You got a spare shed, Badger?
Yeah.
Give me just a second. I gotta get a bottle real quick.
Okay.
No problem, bud.
Oh, Grandpa Duty. Never gets old.
That's really nice of you to do that, though, too. I know it's just sitting in your garage, and I do the same thing with my friends. Hey, you guys want this stuff?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's useful to somebody who would do something to it and do something with it. And, sometimes I would, in these particular items, I just don't think that there's anything that I could make useful for them. And they're going to sit in there for, 5-10 years until I finally go, okay, that's enough. I can't look at them anymore. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, if I just knew somebody who fabricated stuff, I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
I save cedar siding and what other kind of shit do I? Oh, and barn board. Anything weathered that looks great, I save it. I pull all the nails, and that stuff is It's worth a lot of money, but the thing is, right now people don't want to pay for it. So now I'm sitting on this stuff like I'm a hoarder.
Yeah. Yeah, there for 5 years ago, man, that barnwood stuff. Whew.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can definitely, if you don't want that stuff, I always got room for parts. I mean,
Cool.
I jokingly said earlier on my Live at 5 thing that I do that I wear a size basket case if anybody's looking to get rid of anything. Because
I figured, like, I looked at that rear fender, and you know how dumb those fenders are. They look like conquistador helmets. There's a lot of sheet metal there, so you cut some of that out of there, you can make something decent out of it.
And that actually, to be honest, that fender might actually come in handy for the fender that I'm building right now.
Awesome.
Because that's kind of the look on the fender I'm going for. Is the
already has a vision for it already. He already has a vision for it before he even sees it.
Yeah, that's my brain works that way. Like I was telling my daughter and my son-in-law were having the conversation, is that my stroke is weird because like my mind is still there, like everything works, but it's like I never had the stroke. Like I lost 3 months of my life that I completely don't remember because of brain fog. Yeah. But like the guys at the shop, they're calling me like, hey, this is the car you took apart. And I can tell them where the nuts are, where the bolts are, and where they go. And I'm not even there. They're like, how do you even know that stuff? It's been 3 months since you looked at the car, but you still know all that stuff.
The brain is a funny organ. It's a funny organ. It's amazing what can happen in the brain, man.
Yeah. And that's like the doctor told me, like that when you have a cerebellum stroke, you're basically an infant again. When it comes to not like talking or anything, but you're like balance and all that stuff. You don't like, I went through 2 months of heavy physical therapy, 2-3 times a day, to the point where the therapists were like, can you keep going? And I'm like, yes. You're going to fall. Yes, I'm going to fall. Keep going. Do you hurt? Yes, I hurt, but keep going. So that's why I'm at where I'm at now, is because I pushed it to that level.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll definitely appreciate it. I still got you on Instagram, and I'll definitely hit you up and everything.
Yep.
So I don't like the I'm like you. I don't like all the political and stuff. I joke around with it a little bit, but it's only I do it in sarcasm. I don't do it in the my political is sarcasm.
Laughter is the best healing.
Yeah, because it's just the way that it is.
It releases serotonin in your brain every time you laugh, and that helps your body.
Yeah. Are you gonna start doing stuff on YouTube again now?
I don't know yet. I'm still teetering on it.
Is your channel still growing, even though that you're not putting anything out there like it was?
No, I have a whole bunch of people hanging on though, because I've done this once before. I did the same thing one time before, shut it down, lost a bunch of subscribers. Then they came back, and I think I'm still sitting at like 953 or something like that. Like I swear they're just waiting. And
we're waiting for you to hit that 999.
Yeah,
then you'll be stuck there for a month.
Right. Well, I did that stupid. It was just a short. It was like a handlebar cutoff video where I made a stupid mistake, and it was really funny. And my buddy, the other Mike, begged me not to post it, and I'm like, listen, like this is gold. I'm telling you, it's gold. Like this is the dumbest stuff. And we started growing by like 40 subscribers a day, and it got a little overwhelming because I got a small family, a small group of friends, very few people that I talk to, and then all of a sudden these folks are coming out of the woodwork. Hey, why didn't you return my message? Or hey, what the hell? Or hey, did you say this? Or did you say that?
I find around you don't want to be any more than 500, and then as soon as you hit that 1K mark, you have YouTube breathing down your neck. Way more. Like we won't be able to speak as freely on here. We won't be able to get away with certain things that we do say. Once you hit that 1K, like it's a game changer.
Yeah, but you always have that. Like I'm like that too, because like I had my stupidest videos are like the ones that are like, don't put that, like my wife's bike. She's like, don't put that out there. I'm like, I got it. This is gold. This is gold.
It's so good.
And it's true. And like, I mean, I've got a kickstart video that I lost when I lost my phone during my stroke, and that's a whole different story. But I was kickstarting a bike, and it kicked back, and I flipped, and I come up, and it's on video, and I literally flipped off the kickstart and come down on the bike, and my son's like, "No, I don't want to try it." Like that was the next, all right in the video that happened. He was like, "No, I'm not trying it. I'm done." So, but he still likes it though. But it's and I wish I hadn't lost that video, but it's still in my memory. And I'm like, eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to get into my Gmail account to get my stuff back. But I can't remember my password. So,
It sucks moving videos.
What's that?
I was going to tell Uncomfortable that Evil Rick's got a question for him. It says, where in general are you located? He's got a bunch of cedar fence boards just taking up space.
I'm in Manitoba, like pretty much the center of Manitoba, not north of Brandon, Manitoba.
Yep, he's in Canada.
Oh.
Canada, Canuckistan.
Yep.
Yeah. Our new.
He's worse off than we are right now with the cold weather.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the red power. Power.
You don't have any snow at all, do you, Mikey?
We got about an inch or so. It's all ice.
Yeah, that's we don't have nothing hardly.
Yeah,
we don't hear Muskegon.
We don't have any
minus 36.8 here the other day. Minus 36.8 Fahrenheit for you Fahrenheit guys.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was working in that shit.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, 3-hour shifts outside before warm-up breaks, but that's us doing us. We always try and push the limits.
Man, I remember in the early 70s, I had an uncle that worked on the Alaskan pipeline, and he'd talk about how cold it was, but he'd be out there in no shirt working. Like
some guys are like that. Some guys are in shorts.
Oh, hey guys, I got a rumble.
All right, Mike, I'll get with you on Instagram. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Nice seeing you again, Mike.
Yep.
Peace out, Mike.
That's a good guy to have, man. He's a good guy. I've talked, like I said, we were talking quite a bit on Instagram and over the summer and trying to hook up, and it just never worked out. So,
he sounds like a half decent dude.
Yeah. DDK knew that you weren't from around here. It's the A thing. Oh, Lone Cowboy Adventures is on here. Let's see if Ken. I'm gonna add Ken on here. Hey Ken, how you doing? Merry Christmas.
Not too bad.
Hey,
Jumping
Ken.
in from the studio, huh?
Yeah. I just got done with live myself, so.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah. I was
Thanks for stopping in and supporting.
Yeah.
I've been following your channel since last year at Cycle Showcase. I don't.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. I don't get on there a bunch, but I've suddenly had a lot more time than I had 3 months ago.
Right.
So,
Right. I just found out. Hang on a second. There we go. Whoop. Hold on. There. All right. I just found out that my aunt up in Iowa had a stroke like 6 weeks ago. And I wasn't very happy when I find out, that long, because she is the executor of the family farm up there, which is in a battle since my father passed away, so with the step family. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Why hasn't anybody told me this,
Right.
So,
this is kind of important stuff to let me know about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the black sheep of the family, so they don't want to tell me anything.
Aren't we all black sheep? Isn't that why we're here?
Yeah, exactly. But I called a cousin of mine, and she's about the same age as me that's up there, and I called her, and I was ripping tail, and she's like, I'm sorry, I guess next time I'll call you, so yeah.
Yeah, about this year too, my uncle had he had a catastrophic stroke. He died like instantly. So when I had my stroke, my entire family was like calling me, say, "Are we coming? Do we have to get up there? What's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on." So,
I didn't get the whole thing. Did they put a stent in and all that?
No, what
Yeah, I
happened?
was going to ask you about that. You want to talk about like what do you remember before,
So,
Right.
and then what happened to you during surgery?
So what happened on my case is I had chest pains, thought I was having a heart attack,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to the hospital. They did all sorts of tests, said your heart's okay, everything's fine, you're fine. Sent me home and went to my doctor. My doctor ordered some more tests. I went and had a some kind of, can't remember what the test was called on my heart, but it was
Echocardiography.
like an ultrasound of my heart.
Mhm.
And when that happened, my infraction rate, which is how much blood your heart pumps out, which is where the oxygen was at, was in the 30 percentile.
Right.
50% is bad. I was in the 30 percentile. The cardiologist calls me and says, "Hey, we need to get you in here for an appointment and figure out what's going on.
Right.
The reason why you're having chest pains and the reason why you're getting dizzy is because your heart's not pumping blood."
Mm-hmm.
So I was with my granddaughter at the pumpkin patch and I started feeling dizzy. So I'm like, "Oh, I need to sit down. My heart's not pumping.
No.
I'm having a dizzy spell, So I sat down and it didn't get better. And I was
And you're with your granddaughter at this time.
And I was an hour from the house. And I call my wife and I'm like, "Hey, something's not wrong. I'm headed home." And I drove home and I started getting that tunnel vision where you're getting dizzy tunnel vision. And I got behind a semi truck in my truck and I fought because I could see that truck.
Right.
And I'm like, I just hope he's going like as far to my house, to my exit. I just hope he doesn't get off before my exit. And this guy must have known something was wrong because he was driving slower and slower in front of me, but I stayed behind him. And then when I got off the exit, I swear he sped up. I don't know if that really happened, but that's the way I felt.
Right.
But I get to the house and I walk in and I got my granddaughter in there and my wife is just getting in the driveway behind us. And I fell and I puked everywhere. And the whole house was spinning. So my wife comes running in and she's trying to figure out what's going on. I got my granddaughter and so she takes me to the hospital. Yeah. She takes me to the hospital and doesn't dump me, but gets me in a wheelchair, pushes me in and say, "Hey, we can't have the granddaughter in there because there's sick people. We can't have my husband's dying. Like something's wrong.
Right.
This is not right." So the doctor they take me in, not the doctor, they take me to the desk to check me in. And they say, what is wrong with you? And I said, I don't know, but you need to figure this out. And I just threw up.
You know what, Badger.
Yeah.
You do what you need to do, man.
Yeah.
Look after the baby. Go do what you need to do. Man.
So let me make a bottle real quick. And I'll finish the story.
We'll talk about
You guys talk, and I'll take care of this real quick.
Yeah.
No problem, bud. No problem.
That trucker thought that he was tailgating. That's why he kept slowing down. Because I do the same thing going down the interstate. I'll have people following me, and I can only do 65 mile an hour. And they'll be 10, 20 feet off my back box. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'll hit the rumble strip a couple of times. And and like, because I can blow a cap off a tire and it'll go through their grill or their windshield or whatever,
People don't realize that blind zone that you guys have.
But in his case,
the back of your trailer for about a good, I'm going to say like 30 feet.
Yeah. But in his case, he would have been better off following one of them bull haulers that run 90 mile an hour down the interstate, But I understand, following that truck. Sometimes people will be tired and they'll follow you, especially when I used to work at night. And that just makes me nervous, I mean, are they
And another, you should never follow a truck at night either, because I was following another vehicle, like following a truck, and that semi hit a deer and it got jacked up in the back wheels of the trailer and spit this carcass all over the fucking car right in front of me. So that's another reason why you don't want to tail a semi at night.
Right. Yeah. It's oh my gosh. And I can understand why he kept slowing down, but that was good for him to be following that truck the whole time, because
you got your truckers are smart on stuff like that. So
but it's a good thing you got in the hospital right away. I mean, you're lucky.
It was definitely a blessing what happened. Let's just admit that.
You're very lucky
to be alive.
Lucky to be alive. When I got there and they're checking me in, the nurse, she looks at me and she's like, "You're gonna have to finish checking him in the room. Get the clipboard. He's going." And she grabbed my wheelchair and they rolled me back to a room and threw me in a bed. And I'm in the bed not very long, and they call for a bunch of blood work. And the blood work, the guy that comes out, I told him earlier, was my son. And he walks in the room, had no idea it was there. And he's like, "I can't draw his blood." And the doctor had to draw my blood because it was my son, so he can't draw my blood.
Oh, okay.
It's for legal reasons. He can't do anything. Right. So that they get that, and they run me the CAT scan, and my daughter is on the phone with the neurologist, and he's like, he's having a stroke right now. We can see it, and we need to fix it right now.
Right.
And she's like, "Okay, do what you got to do." And it cleared right then.
Yep. Yeah, I got to see most of my grandkids today. It was something else.
Yeah.
I got to ride down. Well, I rode down south of the city. It was like 30 degrees when I left the house.
Yeah.
I delivered the presents on the bike. So
nice.
I know that was it last night or this morning you said you were going to.
Last
night.
Yeah.
Your channel's been growing pretty good. That's good to see, though. I
like not too bad.
Like yours growing.
I it's like I just do it for fun,
Yeah.
That's
why I do it. It's a hobby. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think pretty much we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something for the kids to look back on,
Yeah, that's it exactly. It's documented something like my kids. I enjoy the time. That's a blessing in disguise, is the fact that I got to spend a lot of time with my kids and my family that I would not have had to spend with them. So
yeah, Mike asked me what XAN bike. You asked me there a couple weeks ago if I was going to make it over there to St. Louis this year.
Yeah,
I might. It just depends on the weather, because
you plan on, if you do, you go plan on turn and burn again, or
probably either that or
that's a long turn and burn though.
Well, that's 8 hours. It's not bad. Hang out for a couple hours.
You should come down and hang out the night before. You should come down the night before and hang out, and then
all you have to do is stay on 70.
Yeah. I could do that, because you all go out to dinner beforehand, don't you?
Oh, there may or may not be some real shenanigans that go down the night before.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that happen there, stays there.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
So the night before, you have a meet the builders party, kind of thing at this.
Just kind of
not
a mixture.
So much fun, kind of Mickey Mouse thing. That's
right.
It's not. Randall puts on a great show. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not anything that's. It's not. I'm trying to think of the word. It's not something that's set up.
Someplace where you wouldn't want to take your grandkids.
No, yeah, and it's more of a hangout. It's more of a hangout and meet everybody. Well, then we go back and I
Mhm.
mean, we had a lot of fun. I mean, I met some good people there, like XA and all of you guys, but some of the builders I met were great. Chuck Garrick, he's probably one of the most down to earth, most famous person that I've met that's that
Yeah.
humble for the
Right.
position that he's in.
Yeah, he's the basis for Alice Cooper.
Well,
Hmm.
he says he's the basis for Alice Cooper, which he is.
Well, he's also
But-
got his own band too, doesn't he?
He's got his own band, but he was the guitarist for Dio.
Yeah.
So he starts it off with that. He leaves that whole part of it out, but he's not Alice Cooper's legendary, but he played with Dio. He's done a lot of good stuff. The guy's and he's a very nice, humble, down to earth guy. He stayed in the same hotel as we did. He drank at the same bar as we did. So he's a good guy.
I'd like to bring a friend of mine that I work with that used to ride a panhead chopper, and he doesn't have it anymore. When he sold it, when he got married, he sold it to a guy in Omaha, and he's like,
Oh, that's
"I'd
a
really
mistake.
like to find that bike." And I'm like, "You still got the VIN number on it?" And he's like, "No, man." He says, "I don't know," but he's looking for a panhead. And
That's one thing. You get married, you sell a bike, you'll never get one back.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
my dad had a different scenario. My dad was second generation motorcycle enthusiast builder, making me third generation. But when I was 1 or 2 years old and my mom and dad got divorced, my mom wanted his Harley and my dad wanted me. So my dad gave up his chopper for custody of me.
Wow.
And then my mom only wanted it to be that because she
Just
thought
bike.
she did not think that he would give up the bike for custody of me.
Wow.
And there wasn't any kind of argument in it. And my dad says that was the most expensive Harley deal that he ever did. And he wished that he had never done that.
But there's only one of you, and there's always another bike.
Oh yeah, and he brought me up in motorcycles, and
Yep.
he built choppers and everything, and I remember it as a kid, and I did it, and I've taught my kids, and I'm teaching my grandkids now, and I'm literally watching third and fourth generation come into this, which is awesome.
Right.
So actually, it's fourth and fifth generation, I guess. That's what Detroit Randy told me. He's like, you keep saying it's third generation. He's like, your son's fourth generation, your third generation.
Wow.
So, but he's like, and that's why a lot of those guys, once they meet us and they get to see the story, and I'm trying to get my dad to do some of the shows with me and why he's still around, and just the knowledge. And when my dad starts talking chopper stuff, it's amazing because he's talking like 60s chopper stuff when panheads and knuckleheads were like a Sportster when you're buying them.
Right. Right.
So, and he did diggers and things like that. And he built all that stuff himself. And they weren't all Harleys. He did some Hondas and things like that. But he did the twisted forks and twisted frames, all that stuff by hand. Didn't have all the stuff we have now.
Wow.
Like you couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Like when he shows me pictures of the motorcycles he's built, he's like, we're lucky nowadays because you can buy the stuff. But when he was doing it, you had to physically make it or figure it out. You couldn't. You had a magazine maybe that might have the part.
Right. Now, what area was this at? Where you grew up? What area was?
I'm
that?
in Michigan. Like
okay.
I'm in Battle Creek. I'm in the Kellogg's. I'm a Kellogg's
right.
baby. So
I thought so. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a Kellogg's baby.
I just you meet so many people you don't remember.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
yeah. I grew up in Quad Cities, Davenport, Rock Island, Moline.
I have a kind of a similar history as you do, though. Is before I was big in motorcycles, I rode bulls professionally.
Oh wow!
And I rode saddle bronc and barebacks and pretty well. I rode the stock show. I rode the stock show in Las Vegas.
Oh wow!
So I haven't put that out there a lot, but I've seen you put out stuff like that and talk about that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh!
I'd
love to do it again if I could. you know?
So funny story is that in St. Louis, which not the time that we went for the cycle showcase, but I was down there for drag racing a year before, and there's a bar right by our hotel that had a mechanical bull. And I was the old guy. And my son's like, and my daughter's like, why don't you try it? And I'm like, no, I'm old. It's gonna hurt. And
Yeah.
and I'm watching these kids, and my son goes over and he's like, I bet you, he tells this kid, I'll bet you $50 that my dad can do better than you on that bull. And I'm the old guy in there. And he's like, no, he can't. And I walk up to the guy and I'm like, hey, you're to start that thing out slow. I'm old. I'm not gonna get hurt, and I will let you know when to go faster.
Right.
And I got on that thing and I started spurring it and like it was normal. And he didn't wait for me to tell him. He knew I knew what I was doing, and he just let it rip. And he got to the point where he was trying to get me off.
Right.
I was scared to get off that way because I thought it was going to hurt.
Right. Exactly.
And when I did and got off, and the kid's like, I'm like, I don't want your money. It's like, I kind of knew already that I was gonna. I already knew how it was going to go.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, I did it when I was in the military. I rode the Military Rodeo Cowboy Association, and then I got into some of the PBR and PRCA stuff, and then I took while I was still in the service, I took a really, really bad crash off from a bareback horse, and that ended my career. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried bareback one time and I thought that's too far to fall if I fall, you know?
So I came off the back and took a hoof right to the jaw.
No.
Bud.
And then went through how the fence is, the cattle fence.
Mm-hmm.
I went up and came down on the cattle fence, broke 3 ribs.
Oh no.
That was at that point being in the service, and they were like, no, you're not.
No,
you're
no
done.
more.
I was like, but it was a military rodeo. And they're like, no, you're just done. You're not doing that anymore.
Right, right.
There was a kid next door this spring that happened to. Yeah, it messed that kid up pretty good.
I got a metal plate in my jaw from it. So,
wow.
But that was, I've had other wrecks and bad stuff, but I had a lot of fun because I was in California. Yeah. We rode Billy Bob's. We went into Billy Bob's and probably did some illegal gambling while we were there, and took advantage of some people very well that probably had no idea who we were when we did it. So,
right.
And it didn't end real well either because the Texas people don't like it when people from out of state come in and run their show a little bit. They don't like that stuff.
Right, right.
So,
yeah.
But I ran cattle from California to Texas and from Texas to back. So yeah.
Hauling cattle is something else. It is. Yep. I hauled cattle with a buddy like 2 times just because I wanted to see what it felt like, and that trailer has a life of its own.
Oh yeah.
It's not like hauling water. I know what hauling water's like, but holy crap.
You want to pack them in there. You don't want them moving around in there, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But
all right, DDK, have a good night.
See you later, DDK.
Yeah, that's but that was a part of my life that was a lot of fun, you know.
Awesome.
And it's doing that kind of riding is different, and it's a lot like the motorcycle life.
Yeah, yeah, it's an adrenaline rush, you know. But.
Yes, very much so.
So how many bikes are you going to have in St. Louis this year?
I'm not going to have any.
You're not going to have any, but you're going?
I'm probably going to go.
Okay.
I haven't decided 100%, like I told XAN. I am going to either go to North Carolina the weekend before that, or Ohio. I'm not sure which one. I don't have a new bike done yet. I was getting one ready for St. Louis when I had my stroke.
Yeah.
So everything kind of stopped.
Right.
But I just don't have. I had people that were calling me wanting to do everything and do everything I can to get it done. But I didn't want them to finish what I'd already started.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But we've been going at this for like 2 hours, and I
Yeah.
got a baby here, and I got to get things done.
That's fine.
Christmas.
I just wanted to jump in and say hi.
I appreciate it,
I've
man.
never really talked to you before, so I
Yeah,
figured
we
what
met
the
briefly.
heck.
We
Yep.
met briefly, but everything was busy down there. I mean, this is
It
this
was.
Is kinda what I did the Christmas show to get on and get things out there. Like I
Right.
told XAN in the beginning, you know what? He's one of the first people I reached out to, and I just like sitting in, hanging out with you guys, and it's about making each other grow and channels grow and getting things out there.
Yep. Well, you look good and you sound good, so I'm glad you're here.
I appreciate it.
Salty was the first one to win on something that I gave away.
Yeah.
So if you want to, why don't you want to start it out, Ken, with put the ear into the. What, got any last words you want to say, Ken?
Oh, me?
Yeah. You got anything you want to say?
Well, as always, say hi to a stranger and thank a veteran, man.
All right, man.
Rubber down, faith up, and Merry Christmas, y'all.
Yeah. How about you, Robin? You got any last words?
Yeah, try and do something positive. Don't be negative this Christmas, okay? There's way too much negative happening already.
That's
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out, checking everything out. So you guys have a good night.
You too.
See you later.
See ya.
Good night. All right.
Any luck?
Later.
Nitty up, Dave.